you place your probe at the apex bit, depending on the aperture, somewhere around 5th rib, 6th rib, somewhere there, or just feel the apex bit where you can pick the apex bit, just put your probe there, but ensure that your notch is towards this direction, somewhere between 3 and 2. So if you are able to achieve that, I can assure you that you are going to have an image that will appear like this. So let me freeze. So from our instrumentation, something is not right. This depth is too reduced, so we have to increase it. So when we increase the depth, it goes up, and that should do it. That should do it. You have it in the center of your screen. So what do we have in this position when you place your probe this way and you are seeing this coming up? You have the left ventricle, the right ventricle, the right atrium, and the left atrium. In real representation, the left ventricle is usually the biggest, then the right ventricle. These atria are usually smaller, but you understand what the structures are from the schematic representation or the schematic movie. So you have the interatrial septum and you have the interventricular septum, that's the IVS here. So you have your tricuspid valve and you have your mitral valve. Then you have one of the veins here, pulmonary veins, supplying the left atrium. There are 4 of them. You have 2 coming from here, superior and inferior. You have another 2 coming from here, superior and inferior. That is bringing blood from the lungs into the left atrium, then eventually into the right ventricle. Then on our 5 chamber, you see how it goes out. But basically, this is what you get to see here. And usually, you see the structure here. Usually, that's the ascending aorta, the thoracic segment of the ascending aorta, somewhere here, usually. But basically, these are what you get to see. So this is the 4th chamber. Then, I said from the 4th chamber, what you just need to do is just to belge your probe just a bit upward. So the same position, the same notching, just belge this handle down a bit. Just move this handle down a bit as if the probe is looking upward. In that same position, it comes up, it brings up your, what do we call it now? It brings up your apical 5. So let's see our apical 5. Have I defreezed? Okay, I've not defreezed. So apical 5. So let's see. You can see it. So from 4, just belge this down and it gives you the apical 5. Let me freeze. So what do you see? Apical 5. Let me, okay. I've just decreased the depth a bit so that you can see clearly, more clearly. So you have your 5th chamber in addition to the apical 4 that we just explained. So I'm with the aortic valve. So we still have other structures as we have explained earlier, but with the addition of the aorta, which is the 5th chamber and its valves, making it apical 5. Why is it apical? Because we are coming from the apex. You remember, from the apex. Let me put the rib from the apex. Remove the rib from the apex. Return the skin, surface anatomy. So apical 5. Let's see if we can do some maneuvers. If we move it upward, you can see what happened now. Let me freeze. Look at what I did. Instead of bringing the probe downward, you remember I said when you press this handle down, it gives you the what? The apical 5. So when you return it back, it gives you what? Apical 4, almost apical 4. I'm still seeing a part of what you can see, almost apical 4. Let me defreeze. So you move further, you lose it. You come back, apical 4, complete apical 4. You can see. So look at the handle there. Look at the handle. So let me bring the handle down now. You see, it gives us what? Apical 5. When the handle comes down, the fifth chamber comes up. So it's just a matter of belging the handle, and you get from your apical 4, you get your apical 5 beats.